Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, you are welcome. Feel at home as we go through these tasks. Else, if you're a new subscriber, do well to subscribe, click the notification bell and leave a comment for us. I hope you see what I did there. That's exactly the topic that we're going to be handling today, the if else loop and the functions of Python. So welcome back. How has the Python language been for you? Is it easier than C? Of course you find it easier than C. I hope the Python is not constricting you or trying to swallow you right now as the name implies, Python. Well, the name Python had absolutely nothing to do with a reptile, has absolutely nothing to do with constriction or big serpent or something of that nature. Guido on his own just needed a name that is going to be unique when he was creating his language, and then at that point he was watching the BBC Monty Python series, and from there he got the initiative to name his language after the series Monty Python. Okay, so you as a programmer, eventually as you continue to grow, you develop your own language and you might decide to call it whatever you want. Come on, what is the name you want to give it? Crocodile? A hippo? You can decide to give it whatever name you choose to. Alright, so today we'll be looking at the next task on Python, which is the 0 times 01 Python if else loop and function statements. Alright, uh, like we always do in this channel, I will always advise you go through the resources provided. A lot of all the questions that you have will be easy to answer and tackle if you understand what you are doing. They are not that difficult, especially Python. Python is sweet to learn, so I encourage you to always go through your resources, search them as well on Google, check Stack Overflow, check a lot of all these channels. You would find something really helpful for you. Check back on our channel, we'll be doing videos explaining all of this in detail. This is just a solution video, so eventually we're going to be doing videos explaining most of all these things in a more elaborate way, and in an easier way that would make it very easy for you to understand. All right, that being said, let's quickly go into the project for today. Requirements for this project are vi, vim, emacs. Remember your shebang code. Remember to create your readme. Your file has to be Betty compliant. Remember your lists.h. All right, and when all of this is done, what's the next thing that you need to do? Come to your, in this case I'll be using git bash, you cd, and then you cd into your repository. In this case it is what's the repository here? ALX higher level programming, that's the repo. So you cd into the repo ALX higher level programming. Okay, once you're here, what's the next thing you do? You need to create this directory. I like to copy the directory and paste so that one letter doesn't go missing, because that's what will have checker flood your screen with red codes, error codes, you know. So you know how we make a directory, mkdir, then you paste. All right, in my case it will tell me file exists, in your case it will create the directory. Okay, so after this is done, you cd into that directory. Once you cd into the directory, what's the next thing for you to do is, in my own case, I like to encourage you to create all the other files that is not the main files of the project that you are doing. And what are those files? Your readme, your list.h, and the .c file that is present that you would need to create. If I ls, you're going to see all of my files here, so I advise you create these files first, the readme, the list.h. These two files are very important, so you create them and have them there. This list.h contains the prototype of everything you're going to be working with. Alright, so in order to make everything easy for you, so just create those two files, then you can start with creating these other files. As usual, I have the link of the Google document that contains all of the files that you need to be working with. This is the first one, that's this one here. All right, you just create all of them. They are all available here, and congratulations to us. We've been YouTube has granted us the advanced feature that we've been looking for. So our links, our Google document links, are now clickable on the description box. So that's a big win for all of us. All right, so here we go. We start, like I said, we start with creating the readme. So when you vi your readme, this is the content of my readme. Okay, so you can have this content all down here. It's in your you also have this in your in the Google document that is provided for you in that this thing there. So you have all of it, in your Google, you have all of it in this Google documents that is present here. So when you create this, remember, when you want to start editing, what do? You click I, and when you click I, you can edit. You've entered insert mode for this task. After this is done, you click escape, then colon WQ to save and quit. After that is done, you click enter. In my case, I'll just put Q because I don't want to save and quit. Okay, I already have the file. So the next thing you do now after creating this file is to create your list.h. Please check this list and be sure to put the last S. Alright, otherwise checker will have a problem with you. Okay, checker will be looking for lists with an S.h, and if you don't have that, you probably might just have list without an S. Checker will have a problem with you. So what are we going to do after this is done? Colon WQ, but in my case I just quit. Okay, and I go back. So what's the next thing? Let us come and create this file here. Copy, vi, I paste. Okay, I enter. This is the content of the file, and it's the same content you have here. All right, so okay, so escape, colon, and quit. Sorry, 1 minute. Escape, WQ, you write, and then you quit. Okay, so once this is done, in my case, I'll just quit without write and quit. I click OK. All right, so once this is done, you do the same for the rest of the files. You do the same for 0, you do the same for 1, you do the same for 2, you do the same for 3, you do the same for 4, you do the same for 5, for 6, and the rest of all the files. All right, so once all of this is done and you come here and you click ls, all of your files are going to be displaying in white. Okay, which means they are non-executable files. They are going to be displaying in white. So before you git add, git commit, and git push, do well to change all of this to executable files by using your change of mode. All right, U plus X to give them permission of being an executable file. Then you use the asterisk. The asterisk is going to change each and every one of them to executable files. This way you don't have to start putting the names of the files one after the other just to change them to executable file. This asterisk means all. So it just searches for all the files present in that directory and changes all of them to executable file. But here you see that this file is not executable, this file is not executable, this file is not executable. So what do? I want to change them back to non-executable files. I will do u-x, and then I'll put the name of the file that I want to change to non-executable file. This one, for instance, I copy it and I bring it here. Sorry, one sec. Bring it here. Oh, sorry, there was a mistake there. So chmod u-x. What do? We'll bring this file here. I want to change this file to a non-executable file. Alright, click enter. It has changed it to a non-executable file. That is assuming if it was an executable file in the first place. So it changes it to a non-executable file. You do the same thing for your readme, and you do the same thing for your list.h. Change all of them to non-executable file. Then you can now git add, git commit with a message, and git push. Once you do everything correctly, it will push successfully, and then you can come back and start checking all of your codes. Everything should check green for you at this point. Okay guys, we've come to the end of the lesson. Do well to subscribe, click the notification bell for more videos that will be coming up so that you'll be alerted on them, and then leave us a comment on the video. Thank you very much, and I'm going to see you at our next video. Peace until then.